Hey everyone, ever felt like your paycheck is a master of disguise? One day it's there, let's head over to the board and see what's really going on with your money.
We're going to dive into a really strange paradox happening right now in the UK. How on earth can people earning six-figure salaries still be, well, broke? It's a question that actually opens up a much bigger story about money, our skills, and financial security in this country.
Just think about it. 100 grand a year. That sounds like you've absolutely made it, right? But for a surprising number of people, that massive income just vanishes. It comes in and it goes straight back out again. And this isn't some theoretical problem. This is happening to a lot of people.
And you know what? This situation actually has a name. They're called Henrys. It's an acronym, and it stands for High Earner, Not Rich Yet. It perfectly sums up this financial tightrope that so many are walking. They've got the salary for sure, but they don't have the wealth to show for it.
So just so we're all on the same page, we're talking about folks in the top few percent of earners here in the UK. And still, somehow, real wealth, that feeling of security that comes from owning more than you owe, it just seems to be completely out of reach.
And this is really the heart of the paradox. On the outside, it looks like total success. You've got the great job, the nice house, maybe even the fancy car. But on the inside, there's this constant, nagging financial pressure. You feel like you're one unexpected bill, a broken boiler maybe, away from a serious problem.
So what is going on here? Well, it's pretty much a perfect storm of modern money problems. Childcare costs, they're through the roof. Housing and mortgage payments are astronomical. A lot of people are still paying off student debt from decades ago. Then the tax man takes a huge slice. And you top all of that off with this unspoken social pressure to live a certain lifestyle, which, just leads to more and more spending.
And this right here is where it all gets pretty dangerous. That big salary, it creates this fragile illusion that everything's okay. But with almost nothing in savings, a sudden job loss could be, catastrophic. It's like walking a high-wire act with no safety net, a feeling that, honestly, people on much lower incomes know all too well.
Okay, so you might be thinking, is this just a problem for a privileged few? I mean, is this something we should even worry about? Or is the struggle of the Henrys actually pointing to a much bigger issue? Have a look at this number, 24 million. What do you think that represents when we're talking about money in the UK? I'll give you a hint. It's not the number of Henrys. It's something way more widespread.
Yep, 24 million is the number of adults in the UK who say they don't feel confident managing their own money. That's nearly half of us. Suddenly the Henrys don't look so isolated, do they? Their high-income struggle is just the most visible symptom of what's really a nationwide crisis in financial literacy.
And look, this isn't just a vague feeling people have. The data completely backs it up. When you put the UK up against other developed countries, like France or Canada, our financial literacy score is, it's pretty low. We're actually falling behind. The scale of this is honestly mind-boggling. A report from the Center for Social Justice found that 1 in 2 of us, half the population, couldn't pass a basic financial literacy test. Just let that sink in for a second. Half. So the big question is, how on earth did we get here? How did a country that's home to one of the world's biggest financial centers end up with such a massive, gaping hole in its own financial knowledge?
Well, the problem starts really early. Research shows our core money habits are basically set by the time we're 7 years old. But we're failing to give kids the education when it counts. It's patchy in primary school, all over the place in secondary school, and by the time we become adults, we're pretty much left to figure out this incredibly complex world all on our own.
And this education gap, it creates this deep inequality. Get this, a teenager from a poor background has the same financial knowledge as an 11-year-old from a wealthier family. They are starting their adult lives a full 4 years behind. It's a massive disadvantage.
Now, it is so important to say, this is not about pointing fingers or blaming people. If you feel stressed or confused about money, you are absolutely not alone. This is a systemic issue. It's a gap in our society's collective knowledge, and it's something we have to fix together.
So, what can we actually do about it? Well, while the big picture definitely needs fixing, there are some really practical habits that anyone, and I mean anyone, whether you're a Henry or not, can start building right now to create some real financial strength.
Okay, here's a simple 3-step framework to think about. These are the kinds of habits that can help turn a high income into real wealth. But honestly, the principles here apply to absolutely everyone. It's all about making your money work smarter for you. First up, let's talk taxes. Now, this isn't about some shady tax avoidance scheme. This is about being efficient.
Simple things like making the most of your workplace pension, especially if your employer matches your contributions, and using ISAs to let your savings grow tax-free. These are simple, but incredibly powerful tools that so many of us underuse.
Second, we've got to get serious about debt. You know, just paying the minimum amount on a credit card? That's a trap. It's designed to keep you paying interest for years and years. The goal is to be proactive, pay it down faster, think twice before taking on new debt, and always shop around for better interest rates. This is how you really start to shift the balance from owing money to owning your future.
And finally, number 3, make your money work for you. Once your essential bills are paid and your high-interest debt is under control, investing any spare cash can be a game changer. It helps you build wealth outside of just your monthly paycheck. And the key word is diversify. Spreading your money across different things like property, stocks, pensions, it just makes sense. It's the classic don't put all your eggs in one basket.
But look, these individual habits, as important as they are, can only take us so far. If we really want to solve this crisis for good and create a financially healthier nation for everyone, we've got to think bigger. We need to start treating financial education as a skill you learn and develop throughout your entire life.
The bottom line is this. Personal responsibility is absolutely part of the puzzle, but it is not the whole solution, not by a long shot. A problem this big demands a proper national strategy, a real commitment to giving everyone the financial skills they need to not just survive, but to actually thrive.
And here's what that could look like, based on expert recommendations. It all starts in primary school, right when those core habits are forming. Then, it gets strengthened and standardized in secondary school, so it's not a postcode lottery. And it doesn't stop there. It continues right into our working lives, with employers offering real support to help their staff with financial wellness.
So let's just end on this thought. We spend years and years teaching our kids algebra and the tutors, and don't get me wrong, those things are important. But what about the practical, real-world skills you need to navigate life, to build a secure foundation for yourself, to turn a salary into a real future? Isn't it finally time we made that a priority too?